Okay, so we've just looked at diamond problems where the program gives us a left and a right, and then we have to find the top and bottom. But this time we're going to add in code so that sometimes you get diamonds like that, and then other times you may get a diamond where they show you the left and the top, and you have to find the right and the bottom. So the first thing we're going to do is to use an if then else block because we're going to have two different options that could happen. And so to have the program choose between the two options, we're going to go to operators and we're going to use the equal sign and the pick random number. So just plug that in here. And what we're going to do is say that the program's going to pick a random number from 1 to 2. So really it's picking either 1 or 2. And we're just going to say, let's say when the computer does pick 1, that's going to be our conditional. So if the computer program picks the number 1, one thing is going to happen in particular. So for this, since we still want the left and the right to be one of the options, we can just go up here to the duplicate button and copy the code that starts with the show variable left, because this is where it starts working with what parts of the diamond we're going to see. So if I duplicate that whole thing, I can just put that into the if portion. And this whole thing I just copied over is the diamond where the left and the right are the first things that you're going to see. So then we just have to change some things in the else part of this block. So I'm going to take the original code again because it's very, very similar. There's just a couple of things we need to change. So if I come down here, I'm going to plug in again the original code into the else section. But now we need to change a couple of things. So instead of showing the left and the right, I want to show the left and the top. Okay. As far as these next 4 orange ones go, they stay exactly the same because the diamond setup is the same. All we're changing is what we're shown and what we're asked about. So then the first portion here is asking you the first question. So since we already know the top, we're going to switch out the top and say we're going to repeat until answer that the person types in equals the right space now, since we're changing some stuff. And so instead of putting top in the question, we're just going to change that to right. And the same thing down here. So instead of asking for the top, we're changing to the right. And then when this finally happens and the person answers the right number, we're then going to show the right variable. So again, everything that was top before, we're just changing over to right. Then the code is actually going to stay the same because the last thing we do have to find is the bottom. So everything from this point on is still good. We're going to ask what value should we put in the bottom until the person gets the right number. And then once they do, we're going to show the bottom, and just like before, it'll say, congratulations, you can try another, and all that stuff. So really, just to recap, the only thing we did was use the if then else block, put in a random number, copy the same code twice, but then in this bottom part, change it so that we see the left and top, and kind of work through things just to make sure we're getting the right stuff. So from this point, just take your whole code and we're going to attach it to the when this sprite is clicked button. So then if we go and look at our code, when you click the diamond guy, the first diamond we're going to get, it actually picked the number 2. So at this point, we're going to be able to then say what value should be put in the right. Well, 21 divided by 3, it should be the number 7. And then in the bottom, what value should we put in the bottom? 3 plus 7 is 10. And if we look and we try another one, depending on how the computer picks randomly, there's our 2, our left and right.